You are looking at beautiful Hollywood Beach, Florida. We are here to preview your definitive Arizona Cardinals at Miami Dolphins outing. It's PHNX Cardinals on the road, thanks to our friends at True Fan Travel. I'm Johnny Venerable, my co-host Bo Brock, Damon Dog, producer extraordinaire behind the mic. Thank you, everybody who's tuning in. Like this stream. We are fired up to bring you this pregame show edition of PHNX Cardinals here in South Beach. Arizona Cardinals taking on the Miami Dolphins. Kyler Murray versus Tua. We're breaking it all down, Bo.
Absolutely, and that was a little Johnny Venerable Musburger right there.
How about
you
that?
Are looking live at the Atlantic Ocean. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Fantastic to be out here, and the only thing that could probably ruin this day, a day by the beach, is the Arizona Cardinals offense remaining in their slump. They need to get going. They need to jump start because guess who's coming? Tua's back, and this Dolphins offense wants to prove a point that they're way better than their 11 points per game going into this contest.
This pregame show brought to you by our friends at both Sanderson Ford, our Glendale location back home. Love our friends at Sanderson Ford and our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, specifically our friends at Wild Horse Pass. We're going to be back there for some watch party away games, but for this away game, we are in South Beach, and we are ready to rock and roll in just a few short hours. We will be en route to the stadium to watch Kyler Murray and company take on Tua and the Miami Dolphins. And Bo Brock, let's jump right into it. So we got some news yesterday. Ben Stille, among others, brought up to the active roster. Roy Lopez, obviously a no-go. Sean Murphy-Bunting's not going to play. No Darius Robinson. What can you tell us about some of the moves the Cardinals have made ahead of this game?
Well, Stille, necessity, right? I mean, a guy who was elevated last week. He got a sack right out of the gates against the Chargers, one of three interior defensive linemen that were able to get home to Justin Herbert, and they're going to look for similar production from Stille. But you look at that group, it's going to be Stills, probably. You've got Tonga without Roy Lopez kind of playing the traditional nose, and then you've got LJ Collier in a little bit lighter of a group. Naquan Jones, who had a sack last week. So you're looking at five guys that are going to be up, but, far from household names. You're going to need some guys to kind of give some unique production from that spot if you want to get this offense off the field in the form of Tua and Tyreek Hill.
What are the major storylines for this outing? Cardinals attempting to do something they've never done under Jonathan Gannon. That's get to 500, and that's get to back-to-back wins. This late in the season. It's the Bird Gang Blitz here on PHNX Cardinals pregame. Let's start with running up that hill, Tyreek Hill, so to speak. Who is going to keep up with the number one receiver who's looking to bounce back? He proclaimed it in the media earlier this week, Bo. Reinsert him. He's back for your fantasy football enthusiasts as well as Dolphin fans alike. Cardinals without Sean Murphy-Bunting, respectfully, is that addition by subtraction? Give a guy like Starling Thomas an opportunity, Max Melton, Garrett Williams. Who, in your mind today, how do the Cardinals slow down number 10, and who's going to be on the Dolphins' number one receiver for the Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of zone like you always see, right? So you're not going to see man-to-man coverage on a guy like Tyreek Hill, but you are going to see, as far as your outside corners, Starling Thomas, who, even though he made up for a huge blunder on the first drive last week, he had a huge 40-plus yard reception that nearly ended up in 6 and got it to go the other way by punching the ball out. I don't think you're going to get close enough to Cheetah if he gets the ball in his hands at that point. But talk about as disappointed as we are in Marvin Harrison Jr. and his slow start to his career. Tyreek Hill's numbers are worse than Mark.
Yeah, I mean it's been a byproduct of their quarterback play.
Absolutely. So he's going to be. We've said it ad nauseum. He's going to be amped up and ready to play. He's ready for his guy Tua to be back in there. Somebody he said and proclaimed is one of the most accurate passers in the league, and his statistics back that up. it's going to be key for the Arizona Cardinals to keep everything in front of them. Like Tyreek Hill, expect him to eat tomorrow, but could it be in the form and look similar to a bend, don't break? Don't give up that big 40, 60, 50, 70-yard touchdown play by Tyreek Hill, and you should be, in a decent spot.
I think the Cardinals can win this game, certainly. I don't know if there's any scenario in which Tyreek Hill doesn't have some kind of impact regardless. Like, again, you can get him on numerous sports books, including our friends at Bet365, plus 700 to score multiple touchdowns. He's right around, I think Damon Dog had him at plus 140 earlier this week on Hold or Fold the Line. So I think most people feel like regardless of how Tua looks, of how Miami does offensively, they've scored 70 points this year. They've been a joke offensively. I think Tyreek Hill, like if he's come out and saying like I'm going to play well this week, I'm back. Like I don't have much pushback for that. But what about on the flip side? You mentioned him. Let's keep it going here on the Pregame Blitz. Missing Marvin again. What's going on with MHJ and the Arizona Cardinals' presumed number one target? He met with the media earlier this week, Bo. You were there on a Football Thursday, basically saying like this is not what he envisioned. He didn't really have much to say about that. Beyond that, you could tell he was, as visibly frustrated as we've seen the ex-Ohio State Buckeye top pick for this franchise. We say it every week. It's like, can this be a Marv game? Will this be a Marv game? He's got the difficult task of going up against at least part of this game, Jalen Ramsey. But I mean, again, no excuses. You ought to be able to scheme up significant touches here for a guy that really has lost his confidence and this belief right now in this offense that the Cardinals are running.
I mean, before you can show progress as far as this passing attack, this downfield passing attack, including Marvin Harrison Jr., you have to get back on track. Like, you have to get back. Mina Kimes saying get back to the basics. But you hear from, Drew Petzing before the Monday night game saying he's been a little inconsistent with his play calling and he wants to create more opportunities for Marv. We'll do it. It's time to do it.
Talk's cheap.
Talk is become very cheap. Bargain bin price at this point. Now it's time the actions have to speak for themselves. Like you have to see Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray, that connection get going, and it's not the easiest task. Like Jalen Ramsey's going to be in that defensive secondary. You've got a nice little safety in Javon Holland. It's not going to be the most conducive to getting passing games, to find that their gear, like not the next gear, just their initial gear. So it's they've got to find ways, maybe simplify things, just get the ball in his hands, see if he can make a play in space, and that's how it's going to go instead of be like deep downfield passes that have been low percentage. It just hasn't worked so far.
There's got to be a responsibility not only on Marv but this offense, this passing game to help pick up this Cardinal defense. Like I think this defense has been really the better of the two units. The offense has been the biggest disappointment thus far, and I do think that listen, at the end of the day, this Cardinal team, even with this defense overachieving, they can't succeed and make a postseason run or a division title run without Marvin and Kyler Murray, flourishing. Like we thought that was the baseline. Maybe foolishly, we thought that was an easy benchmark for this team to clear, and that other questions would be pertaining. Now it's like, this should have been the biggest layup you had as a franchise this year. And you guys, you're fumbling it right now. But to your point, Bo, it's not too late. It's not too late to get this kid going, to get his confidence back, to have that arrow projected upward. Because, listen, at the end of the day, this is a passing league. This is a points league. Cardinals don't have the personnel defensively to do what they did on Monday night every week, and they shouldn't be asked to do that. They've spent the least amount of money in the entire NFL on their defense. Like, this is an offense flush with resources. It's time to put up or shut up today against Miami. And on the flip side, we mentioned that defense. Tua B or not Tua B here as we wrap up the Pregame Blitz on a pregame show Sunday.
What do you think, Bo? Like 4.5, like out of 10 there? I mean, it's got to be one of the worst play on words Johnny's come up with.
I want him to kind of retake it a little bit. Like I thought he was going to give a little Shakespearean to it, a little of his.
Well, you want to try that again? I might update my standings.
Yeah. No, I don't want to do it. You guys,
come on. You gave us a horrible English accent.
You guys,
a couple weeks ago.
That's what I was just about to say.
That. To be, or to not to be.
that is awful. That
is the question.
Is
nobler. Yeah, keep going.
Oh my goodness! Now I want to abruptly end the show. That's not a good omen for how things are going to look later this afternoon. But no, I listen. Can the Cardinals afford to let Tua go off? No, absolutely not. I don't think
this
so.
Offense is playing.
This offense is averaging 11 points per game. Now they weren't anything to write home about earlier this season. They looked terrible against Jacksonville, like terrible against Buffalo. But I think that what Miami and their fan base and maybe even their coaching staff, certainly the media, has been reminded of is like there's a huge drop off between whatever Tua is and isn't, and then the backups of the world. Like, again, it's my biggest argument for the people who are like, replace Kyler Murray and draft a quarterback or get somebody else. Like, have you watched some of these other quarterback situations around the NFL? Like, there's a big difference between viability and dumpster fire, and that's what the Dolphins have been. And I'm sure, like, I get it. Like, Tua's not coming back from a significant injury to his lower body where it could, hamper what he's able to do today. So, like, I expect him to be relatively sharp, but you also can't let him sit back there and be super comfortable, a la Herbert and Goff early in those games where it was like, you look up at his 15 for 15, right? If it is, it's over. If you're Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rawlis, and I said it on yesterday's Saturday podcast, you need to be blitzing the house. And if you get beat, you get beat because you're going to get beat rushing 4. We know the Cardinals are.
Well, here's the thing. What they were able to accomplish against the Chargers was there was at one point, Justin Herbert comes out of the gates and he starts 8 for 8.
Yeah.
But then he goes 1 for his next 8.
Yep.
And the defense is able to get off the field, force field goals, whatever it may be. But this time, like, you need to play that complementary football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know we trying to get away from talking about this offense, but you need the offense to oblige when your defense is able to get off the field here because, I think it's inevitable. Like, they're going to make their plays. Like, they didn't do it a lot in the opener, and you can only go sample size for 2 in 2024. It's Jacksonville, it's Buffalo, and they've been ugly performances. Like,
yep.
And a lot of them were kind of dressed up a little bit with one 80-yard pass and catch to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like, that was it. Like, otherwise, you take away that big play, and his numbers look pretty pedestrian. Can you keep him looking pedestrian even with them making a play here and there?
Again, we got more to talk about here on a football pregame show. But first, let me tell you about our friends, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Fired up to tell you about our friends at Gila River Resorts Wild Horse Pass, specifically the side of our watch parties. Big shout out to everybody who came out Friday night for the Suns watch party. Mm-hmm. Gila looked like a blast, even though the Suns took the L. We've been there all year. We had a draft party there, fired up. All the good stuff they've got going on. One of their 4 locations, frankly, experience the best the Valley has to offer. Like, I'm loving the vibes here in Miami, but I do get homesick for our friends at Gila in Phoenix and the greater surrounding areas. Again, we're going to be hosting events, 4,500 slots, live table games, the largest sportsbook casino in Arizona. It's on par with any 5-star casino you've seen, Las Vegas or otherwise. And again, we're going to be hosting events throughout the course of this year. We've got our away watch parties, Suns, Lindsey, Gerald and company, Ruby. They're going to be hanging out. Steven, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit them at playathgila.com for more information. Earn entries for the Ferrari Fortunes every Friday at 7 p.m. Winners are drawn for every cash prize. We're so fired up. The grand finale is going to take place on November 1st at Wild Horse Pass, where one lucky winner can win a Ferrari 488 GTB, baby.
Imagine being that guy. The guy who just gets a free Ferrari from our friends over at Gila River Resorts.
That's on brand for them.
Yeah.
They do big time.
Check them out. If it's Petsing, does he just take it to the nearest parking lot and just kind of drive it around?
Drives a Mazda off the lot.
Guys, not over 20 here. We got to keep it, 15 to 18
he trades it in
per hour.
It's a beautiful car.
You see, there you go. Yeah. Now you're having fun.
Yeah.
You're having fun with our friends. Speaking of cars, how about our friends
first and second
at Sanderson Ford? Speaking
Absolutely.
of cars.
Love Sanderson Ford, the official vehicle partner of PHNX. I'm a truck guy, and I love the beautiful trucks that they have in their inventory there. 65 beautiful acres out there in the West Valley at Sanderson Ford. It's the largest Ford dealership in the nation, and they got the restaurant on site. It's the Starliner Diner. Of course, if you get a vehicle at Sanderson Ford, you're having some work done in the service department, just go over to the Starliner Diner and have a great meal. And then also they're helping support the community, like St. Mary's Food Bank, Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, Military Assistant Mission. So many things that they've got their hands on there, woven within the fabric of our community here in Arizona. And also they got great, beautiful cars that you can go and get great deals on. Head over to Sanderson Ford right now. It's their no nonsense, no pressure, no hassle sales approach. Check out the new F-150s, 3.9% financing for 60 months, plus $4,000 cash back, pickup for free, a pair of tickets to see Weezer and Sublime. Is this like customized for me?
Loser.
90s alternative? Sign me up. Oh, man. More on November 9th as they supply 100 tickets while they last. No purchase or test drive required. Just hang up and say, tickets, please, but also look at their great inventory. We love them. Of course, offer that 2024 F-150 STX OAC for Ford credit, 1 pair of tickets per household, and requires a valid driver's license.
I want to be the winner for Weezer and Sublime. I had multiple Weezer albums growing up. They are very good.
I'm more of a Sublime guy.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my first parental advisory CD.
I think mine was maybe a Linkin Park CD. Yeah, again,
so on brand.
Very on brand. That's
electric.
That's unfortunate. What's not unfortunate? How about this boosted bet with our friends at Bet365?
Imagine just angsty Johnny just in his room.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
It was one of maybe many. Listen, it could have been gifted to me for a birthday. Who knows? But I do know this. You were going to want to jump on this boosted bet with our friends at Bet365. Tap that app, baby. Plus 525 to plus 650.
Ooh.
Just need 2 lines. Your boys we didn't let you down last weekend. 2 lines, it hit. 550 last week. Trey McBride in the money line. How about this? Kyler Murray over 50 yards rushing. He did that last week en route to a touchdown and a dub, and then a James Conner anytime touchdown. Get it right now. I feel like the James Conner touchdown is a lock. I think the only part we're going to be sweating is that K1. Will he get unleashed? Will he run the football? We think so. Plus 525, boosted to plus 650. How about it right now with our friends at Bet365? Big thanks to them.
4 times this season. 61 yards, 64
better
yards,
than half.
83 yards, 59 yards, 57. Didn't hit it on a 45 yards against Detroit, so he was 5 yards short. But 4 of the 7 games, Kyler Murray's been over 50 yards rushing. So
take advantage. Use the bonus code PHNX.
Special
365 when you sign up. Absolutely. Final thoughts and predictions here before we make our way out to the stadium. You're going to be in the press box. Damon and I, we're going to be hanging out with our friends at your premier tailgate event with our friends at True Fan Travel. Full transparency, all 4 of us, including Craig, who's not here right now, picked the Cardinals to lose on yesterday's preview show. Does everybody still feel fairly confident that the Cardinals can win, but you're not expecting it?
Right. That's I do see paths to victory.
Yep.
But it's going to take the defense can parlay in last week's solid performance against one of the worst collection of playmakers against some of the best collection of playmakers this week.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not expecting them to hold them out of the end zone, but the bend don't break approach would help. And then this offense getting right? The Cardinals offense, not the Dolphins offense. So there are many paths to victory. But at the same time, they haven't won back-to-back games since 2021 until they prove me otherwise. I'm sticking with the prediction of the Dolphins winning this at home.
Yeah, I hope we're not watching a game even it's cliche and this feeds into the rebuild narrative. But even if the Cardinals take an L today, I want there to be things that they can build on.
Yeah,
like the relationship and the continued ascension of this passing game or lack thereof. I want to see signs of life between Marv and Kyler Murray. I don't want to see. I think worst case scenario is they lose lopsided and the offense looks like the offense of the last 5 weeks. Play hard, be competitive, go shot for shot with this Miami offense. There are less excuses for you compared to Miami. Miami hasn't had their quarterback. Their quarterback's back. If they're able to pick up where they left off, that's an indictment of you and this scheme, Drew Petzing. It's an indictment of Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr., frankly. You ought to be able to go out and compete against Miami, who is a little bit fraudulent on both sides of the ball. They're a 2-4 team for a reason. I know they haven't had their quarterback, but at the end of the day, if I'm Jonathan Gannon,
they should have been 0-2 with Tua.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm Jonathan Gannon right now, I'm looking at my team and I'm saying, guys, we're 1 game out of first place. We win this game. We're in first place in the NFC West. Doesn't matter what preseason pundits thought. Doesn't matter that we were picked to finish last, universally across the board, that nobody thought we were going to win. Over under a 6.5. You win this game, which again, it's there for you to win. I think most people would consider Kyler Murray a better quarterback than Tua on any given Sunday, and especially Tua coming off a major head injury. How many times are the Cardinals with Kyler Murray going to lose to inferior quarterback play? That should be a storyline that not a lot of people are talking about.
Well, look, the one thing that he has to do that Tua does very well is get the ball into his top playmakers' hands.
That's a great point.
So if he can do that, if he can play that role, start to play that role even more so, especially in the downfield passing attack, push it, I think that's going to bode well for him. Also, when you are going against a 2-4 team, And albeit like we'll have to the qualifier. We know that Tua hasn't been there, but 1-1 with Tua in the lineup, a flawed football team right now. If you control the controllables, as Gannon always says, and you don't have a game like did that resembled a Green Bay, like you have to be a team that's disciplined. You can't have a lot of laundry on the field. Like if you play a disciplined, game and you execute on both sides of the football, like you're going to be in a position, I think, regardless of Miami having their flashes, to win this football game.
We're fired up. This is your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Be sure to like this stream. Yes. Follow us at GoPHNX.com. Become a diehard right now. Best time to become a diehard. Join our family for just $4 a month. Steal of a deal. We're slashing prices left and right to help hook you up with premier merch, access to the PHNX Cardinals Discord, $48 for the year. Limited time offer. We've already welcomed a ton of new diehards. They've been chopping it up in the Discord. Check Craig Morgan's workout at GoPHNX.com. Speaking of Craig and Bo, they're going to join us later on the PHNX Cardinals postgame show. And fingers crossed, we are attempting to do a halftime show, myself and Bo at halftime at the stadium, at Hard Rock. Bo at the press room, yourself, your boy Johnny Venerable, and Damon Dog in the slums. Miami fans, we're going to be fighting them off for your premier halftime show. It's going to be electric, Damon Dog.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. Can't wait to get out there and see the Rock.
Yeah, the Hard Rock. Not the actual Rock, but the Hard Rock.
The Rock might be there.
He might. He's a Dolphins fan. He
hangs out in Miami.
Yeah, he went to University of Miami.
Yeah, there you go.
Ballers.
Anything else
Great
you got
show.
for the people? Big thanks to everybody at True Fan Travel, by the way.
True Fan Travel. Check out everything they've got going on. TrueFanTravel.com. It's not just exclusive to Cardinals fans. They've got great events going on nationally, internationally. It's your spot that you can tap into your fandom or whatever it may be. So excited about this one. Could be a good measuring stick for the Cardinals. Huge win potentially for them, or can you make it to where you can get to buy them even in a losing game?
It's imperative you turn on those notifications here with PHNX Sports. The post-game show will have a little bit of a delayed start because Damon and I have to hustle back from the Hard Rock back to beautiful Marriott here on Hollywood Beach. So it's going to be delayed about an hour, so it should not impact. We're going to be cranking out a post-game show while the late games are going on. So you got your late games, hopefully after a Cardinal dub. Keep it locked in here. GoPHNX.com, wherever you get your stream, because we will be able to feed you your definitive post-game show, and hopefully the Arizona Cardinals move to 4-4, 500 on the year. Can they get there? For Bo Brock, Damon Dog, Craig Morgan, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you at halftime.
We all silly like the mayor.